Despite so much of knowledge around data privacy, there are still a lot of myths around. In this video, we are going to debunk some of the data privacy myths, especially in India, and understand what should the Indian businessmen know and how should they apply them to their businesses. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily see new content on data privacy. And as I said, let's talk about country and what should the businesses do to get rid of those myths. So as an introduction, why privacy? Privacy because there's a huge increase in online transaction. People are collecting personal information from multiple sources at multiple places, be it grocery ordering, banking, ticketing. I mean, now we have the same aggregator who can do airline as well as train ticket for you. Right? So lots of personal information being collected, Aadhaar, your personal ID being collected by online services, and therefore we as individuals and the businesses should understand what are the key threats, what do we believe, and what is the reality about each of those beliefs, and are they actually myths? So let's look about top 7 of them. Myth number 1, I have nothing to hide. Why do I need privacy? Your personal data, you need to protect it. Privacy is not about disclosing only. Yes, it has a clause that says that you should have a proper clause or purpose for disclosing or sharing personal data of any individual with another individual. If you are an individual, privacy means you need to take decision whether you want to disclose or not, and if it is about third parties, then the person who collected needs to take a decision whether it has to go beyond or not. But privacy is more about controlling the personal data, the usage or the misuse, possible misuse of the personal data to avoid any hassles for the individual. Misuse of personal information is what is to be controlled by privacy. In identity theft, financial scams could have a huge financial impact. Aadhaar leakage could have an identity theft. Biometric leakage could be very, very risky in any forms. You are responsible for your own data, so just don't think that you have nothing to hide just so you don't need privacy, right? A telecom leak led to fraud calls and financial scams for millions of customers. The second myth is only big companies need to worry about privacy. Well, they should. For big companies, it is important, but we are all vulnerable. Security issues could be there anywhere. DPDP Act applies to organizations of all sizes. Any organization that is dealing with digitized format of an Indian individual, DPDP Act works for them, irrespective of the size of the organization. Smaller business could rather be an easier target. The larger ones have better protection around their data in their data centers. So data breach penalties can impact smaller businesses heavily. 250 crores, not a small amount, but if your business is small, then it's a very large amount. And even market knowledge of a breach at your end could impact your market reputation, and businesses could get shut down, right? Fintech, e-commerce stores, they are prime targets for phishing scams and payment frauds. The third myth is that storing data in India keeps it secure. Well, storing data in India keeps it secure. We can't challenge it, provided you make it secure. Just saying that my data center is in India or saying that my cloud service provider stores it in India does not mean it is secure, right? Data localization is a key element and one of the key requirements of DPDP Act, but that does not mean that just keeping it in India makes it secure. You still need to put in all security measures like encryption, access control, multi-factor authentications, data masking, anonymization, other privacy enhancement techniques, pseudonymization, etc. You still need to do that even if data is stored in India. You can't keep it open-ended or unprotected because it is in India. Leaks can happen from any unsecure location, irrespective of it's in India or outside. The fourth myth that I want to talk about is that the individuals feel that they are confident that their app itself has a privacy policy or a privacy clause. Well, you need to be sure whether the privacy policy in your app is actually functional. Is it applicable for the environment? Have you even validated its functionality? Key functional elements, data minimization, purpose limitation. So many apps collect so much of data for a small purpose. Do they need that extra data? Have you checked whether the app you are using is collecting information more than required? Is there a data processing transparency? Is there a consent management program that says, okay, your information no more required, or okay, you don't like it, withdraw the consent? So many apps collect excessive information. You need to be careful about it. Just not believe that because there's a privacy policy attached to the app you are using, you are safe. End-to-end encryption protects everything. Well, it does, but then there's a lot of metadata. And what about access to the data? If there is a proper access to the data through the decryption software and the data is readable and then hackable because it is not secure, metadata, browsing habits, transactional data are not well protected, then just as encryption cannot help. It's a complete package of security, role-based access, encryption, any other privacy enhancement technique you want to use, like anonymization, pseudonymization. So don't rely just on encryption. It has to go beyond encryption. Myth number 6, fiduciaries will protect my data. They have to. They are obligated to do that. It's their job. But does that mean that your job is over just because you think fiduciary is supposed to do their job? You need to be ensuring that they are compliant. Breaches happen because of insider threats also. You need to time make sure that there is nothing known about them for an incident or for a breach. Their configurations are proper. There is good security in their organization as well as the IT part of the organization where data is being processed. And these organizations are prioritizing privacy. Tribune data leak, for example, is one of those where there was an insider threat that the data was easily available on a WhatsApp group. Last but not the least, privacy laws are for legal compliance. Well, obviously, all laws are for compliance. Simple. But it's not only compliance. If anyone's personal information is breached from an organization and is known publicly and is misused, then that organization from where it has been lost or breached has a huge impact on their own reputation. Privacy helps bring up that customer confidence. You tell people, I am privacy compliant. You tell people my data is encrypted. You tell people I use MFA, right? Multi-person authentication for that matter. So compliance increases the loyalty of your customers towards you because they feel more safe and secure keeping their data with you. Compliance reduces risk and financial impact. So what are the key takeaways from this entire discussion that we have? Privacy is a right. It is not a luxury. DPDP Act is mandatory. It is not just to be there. It may take time to get fully implemented, but it is a mandatory thing. Security is more important than just encryption. User awareness is one of the key things because user, both in terms of whose personal data is processed and the one who is actually processing the data, both need to be very aware. Transparency helps set expectations and deliver around those expectations. Privacy is far beyond just a legal requirement. It is for the betterment of your organization. It is a business need. It is an ethical obligation that you tell people that you are handling their personal data very ethically. So that's about data privacy myths in India. I hope you like the content of my video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, share your feedback in the comment section, and if you really like the video, please press the bell and the like icon. Thank you.